Elrond. Sorry. Elrond has asked you to scout the mines of Moria on your return to Lorien, hoping to discover if it is the source of increased orc activity along the Misty Mountains. Hello and welcome back to the Line Unbroken, my series in which I'm playing through each of the scenarios of the Lord of the Rings living card game in turn, using only the cards which were available at the time of the release in imitation of the existing LOTRLTG progression series. Here I'm playing the third scenario of the Dwarrowdelf cycle, The Watcher in the Water. This is actually one of my favourite scenarios from the cycle, to be honest, even though it has some aspects which are exploitable. To be fair, until this time through, I've never actually exploited the powerfulness of scrying, so this is a slightly new experience for me, although not entirely, because I have tested these decks, as I wasn't entirely sure about the idea of the secrecy deck, whether or not it would work properly, but so far it's worked alright. So, here's the Watcher, here are the Dol Durin, they are out of play. Your approach is blocked by a dark lake that slumbers beneath the face of the cliffs. You must search for a way around the water. So reveal cards from the encounter deck and add them to the staging area until there is at least X threat in the staging area. X is twice the number of players in the game, so I need at least 4 threat. Okay. Attached to your account will exhaust already. So I suppose I'll put that on Frodo. Still no threat in the staging area, so I have to keep going. Okay, that's 2. 4. Okay, that's enough threat, but frustratingly, tentacles, of course, I have to engage immediately. Oh, I should mention that I was happy with the starting hands for both decks. I mean, with this deck, the Secrecy deck over here, Leadership Tactics Secrecy, an odd concept, but it has seemed to work so far. Basically, it can end up with either good cards for itself to start with, or for the other deck. In this case, I've got the sword that was broken ready to go on to Aragorn, so I was happy with that. I've also got this feint on the Gondor, it's useful stuff. And over here I've got some threat reduction. It's kind of this deck has stuff that helps the other deck work. So I've got some threat reduction, that can also be threat reduction, and then, you know, some willpower obviously doesn't hurt. Test of will, always useful. Alright. So, okay, Nazi the strike, that's not so relevant right now, but will be in future. And so it looks like I'm playing nothing on this side. It'll be a slightly slow start, but we will get going. So the eagle's coming. Let's look at the top 5 cards. 1 eagle. Okay. Now the question is, do I play the Horn of Gondor immediately, or do I save the resource for this feint? I think I probably want the feint more. So quest for 4, 5. Edward will give the resource to himself, and this is all I can do. It's 4 threats in the staging area. I'm committing 5 willpower. It's not very good. Right. That's another 4 threat. A total of 8. I'll spend 1 resource to bring in both her exhausted and committed to the quest. So that's now 7 willpower against 8 threat. I don't really feel the need to discard cards to Eowyn, I don't think. I'll just take the threat raise of 1. And since I quested unsuccessfully, Botha remains in play instead of returning to my hand. So that's useful. Now, there is no location, so I can't travel. I do not have to engage this mountain warg, because its engagement is at 30 and I'm still at 29 here. But I will need to deal with all 3 of these tentacles, and I need to unwrap Frodo. Which is a bit of a problem. But what can we do? I only want this one here. I suppose I don't know how much it matters. To be honest, let's do that. Shadows. It is now the combat phase, so I'll use this combat action, exhausting Aragorn, to discard Wrapped. Legolas will play this feint on the Striking Tentacle, since the Striking Tentacle's forced effect goes off when it attacks. I'd rather avoid that possible undefended attack. Oh no, wait, No, wait, I didn't think this through. This is supposed to be over here, and this should be over here. Which does work, because each deck optionally engaged a tentacle, and then this deck is first player, so it gets the next one. This is crucial because now, having very carefully avoided the potential undefended attack there, I'm now going to deliberately take an attack undefended. Let's discard resources. That is... and it is from each hero. That is very annoying, because I was hoping to be able to play that Galadriel's Greeting next round. But what can we do? And so now Frodo will defend this one. +1 attack, so 2 threat. And now I have to risk this forced effect, I think. So Legolas will attack the Thrashing Tentacle. So forced, when it is attacked, discard the top card of the encounter deck. If it has a shadow effect or is a tentacle enemy, Wrapped is a tentacle card, but not a tentacle enemy, so this does not trigger. And so the damage happens to the tentacle, not to Theodred. Very useful. And I will make 2 quest progress as well. Discard these spare shadow cards and control in. Right. So, let's get my willpower up and running first. With the sword that was broken. And now I want either the one of Gondor or this eagle. I think the eagle is going to be the way to go. Actually, let me rethink this, because I do really want to play the sword, but I played this guy, so I really need defensive power. Nope, nope, this is fine. Sword that was broken, and Vassal of the Windlord. Now over here, Aragorn also now has a leadership icon. Here's the thing about the sword that was broken, it's the wrong way round. Because if you think about Celebrion's Stone and the, at this point, unreleased Ring of Barahir, they all have one effect which applies to anyone you attach them to, and then if the attached hero is Aragorn, he gains a different resource icon. But the sword that was broken is the other way around. So there is no reason to attach the sword that was broken to any hero other than Aragorn, because it's just a triple cost Song of Kings. So why would you ever do that? Oh, I will play this when the sword that was broken is attached. So, ready, hero, draw a card, or lower threat by 2. Since I want this deck to stay in secrecy, I'll choose to lower its threat by 2. And let's see, I think, risky though it is to run without a possible test of will, I will play Arwen. Right, so now questing. One, adding a resource to himself. Arwen and Eowyn are both boosted by 1 from the sword, so that's 5, 8. A total of 9 willpower against 2 threat in the staging area. Given the enemy situation, I'm thinking that I may want everyone back. Oh, and Arwen's boost is going to apply to Frodo. So, another Grasping Tentacle, and another Grasping Tentacle. So that gives us 6 threat in the staging area, 3 progress. Now, I really need to engage everything. Which is somewhat troublesome. But But let's see. Well, yes. Okay, there's no way to avoid having a grasping tentacle over here. And optional here, and this will come down here. Okay, and so since Aragorn now has leadership resource icon, you can play sneak attack Gandalf. And Gandalf is going to kill one of these enemies before it attacks. I suppose actually the striking tentacle is the best choice to avoid the potential undefended. So Frodo, since Frodo is currently Sentinel, because of Arwen, he will defend this grasping tentacle, and he takes no damage. Excellent. Right, in that case, I am going to take this Mountain Warg undefended, and just increase my threat by 4. The Warg returns to the staging area because there was no shadow effect. And now it's risky, but Aragorn will defend. Let's discard 2 resources from each hero. Don't have any to discard. He's now 1 hit point away from death. Botha will defend this one. He's also now 1 hit point away from death. So, the question now is whether I want to risk Legolas attacking one of these, because he could kill it, but the forced effect could reduce his attack and defense to 0. I will start with the Vassal of the Windlord. Let's discard. It is a tentacle enemy, so the grasping tentacle is attached to the vassal. Its attack is reduced to 0. Actually, this is an interesting question, which I'm not entirely sure of the answer to. Forced, after an attack in which Vassal of the Windlord attacked resolves, discard Vassal of the Windlord from play. My thinking was that the Vassal would now be discarded, and that would, of course, discard the tentacle as a matter of course. But since the tentacle is no longer there, it's now attached to the Vassal, I'm not sure if the attack has actually resolved, because there is no enemy to be attacked. And so, just as it's specified somewhere that it's been specified somewhere in a rules query that when defending attack, essentially at every stage of the attack, you check, is there still an enemy? And if there is no longer an enemy, then everything stops. So I would think that the same would apply in this situation, and so now, because there is no longer an enemy to be attacked, this attack has not resolved, and the vassal does not get discarded. I could be wrong here, but I'm going to go with that. And now, as I said, it's the Legolas question. I really need to get this stuff under control, so he will attack. It is not a tentacle, and it doesn't have a shadow effect. I make the 2 progress. And now Gandalf will attack this one. It does have a shadow effect, so the Grasping Tentacle is attached to Gandalf. Discard these shadow cards. Gandalf returns to my hand at the end of the phase, thus discarding the Grasping Tentacle. Excellent. I've got this somewhat under control now. Right. So... I don't think the extra willpower from the Western Traveller is going to be that important. I would like to save a resource for Test of Will. But I'd also like this Unexpected Courage. Yeah, let's live a bit dangerously. I think. Actually, no. Let's not. I think we're fine. And I can afford to take my time at this point. I'll pay 2 for this Dwarrowdelf Wanderer. This guy's terrible once you get out of secrecy because he's massively overcosted, but in secrecy, 2 resources for a guy with 2 attack, 2 defense, 2 hit points, ranged and sentinel. It's pretty great, to be honest. And I will finally put the Horn of Gondor onto Theodred. And so let's go into the quest. Level 5, 8, 11. I'm boosting Frodo with Arwen. Unless I say otherwise, I'm boosting Frodo with Arwen. 9. Oh, actually. Now I think of it, yes, I will put that Unexpected Courage on Aragorn because I can use Theodred to put a resource back onto, not Frodo, Eowyn. Frodo is not committed to the quest. So 5, 8, 11, 12. 12 versus 2. I'm still not actually going to send Aragorn on the quest with that Unexpected Courage. I'm saving him for potentially multiple attacks. A location! Glorious. Negative Passage and Stagnant Creek. Reveal, discard the top card of the encounter deck. It is a tentacle enemy, and so it is added to the staging area, and we raise each player's threat by 5. Out of secrecy now. Good thing I played that Dwarrowdelf Wanderer already. So 2, 5, 6 additional threat. So 8, I make 4 progress. I am okay with this. I don't necessarily want to advance yet. I will travel to the Stagnant Creek, and now I need to deal with these enemies. So, deck 1 will optionally engage the Tentacle, and deck 2 will optionally engage the Warg. And yeah, Frodo will defend the tentacle. +3 attack. So that's 7 attack against his currently 3 defense, thanks to Arwen. 46 threat. Fun times. And over here, the Vassal of the Windlord will defend against this Mountain Warg. There's no shadow effect, so the Warg will go back to the staging area. The Vassal is gone, as is the tentacle which was attached to it. And so Aragorn and Legolas can kill this tentacle. 2 progress on there. Oh, character left play, so Theodred gains a resource from the Hall of Gondor. Now Control R to ready, and I will use Aragorn's refresh action to return this dex threat to 28. Control N into the new round. Okay, the eagles are coming. The only eagle card is another copy of The Eagles Are Coming. So I'll play that. Descendant of Thorondor. That's nice. Since I have the sneak attack in hand. But I will not play anything. Now over here, I could really do with some more cards. Nope, I think play nothing. So 1, 6, 9, 12. 12 versus 3. I'm probably advancing the quest at this point. Flashing Tentacle. And Stagnant Creek, discard the top card of the encounter deck. It is not a tentacle enemy. That's an extra 5 threat, putting me up to 8, so 4 progress. 1, 2, 3, 4. The others swung round and saw the waters of the lake seething, as if a host of snakes were swimming up from the southern end, the Fellowship of the Ring. The doors of Durin are blocked by an ancient spell. You must figure out a way into the mines before the seething bog and its watcher consumes you all. So we add the watcher to the staging area, and the Doors of Durin becomes the active location, moving any previous active location to the staging area. I don't know how there could already be an active location, because you just quested through. Shuffle tentacle cards in the discard pile back into the encounter deck. So that's going to be quite a number. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 cards out of the 23 card discard pile were tentacles. It's the kind of proportions that we deal with. Now, while there is another tentacle enemy in play, the Watcher cannot be optionally engaged. And there is, which means I'm going to have to deal with this. It's in the end, it's the staging area at the end of the combat phase. Each player must deal 3 damage to one character it controls. Unless... yeah, okay. During the travel phase, I'm going to play Sneak Attack, Descendant of Thorondor. So, response after Descendant of Thorondor enters or leaves play, deal 2 damage to any one enemy in the staging area. I'll choose this Thrashing Tentacle. At the end of the travel phase, play Sneak Attack, returns to my hand, and triggers its response again, and the tentacle is dead. So now I can engage the Watcher. Which simply leaves the question of what I'm actually going to do with it. Right, let's bring down the Watcher here. And I don't have to engage the Warg. I'll have to engage the Warg next round, but right now I don't, because my threats are both low enough. So Frodo will defend the Watcher. 2 threat. Oh, Theodred of course gained a resource from the Descendant of Thorondor leaving play. Horn of Gondor makes Sneak Attack free. I can potentially attack for 11, including Unseen Strike. So that would be 4 damage, of which it would regenerate 2. I think that's a reasonable idea. So, Unseen Strike. Choosing Legolas to gain +3 attack while attacking an enemy with a higher engagement cost than your threat. The Watcher's engagement cost is 48, so it's well above. So 6, 8, 11. Dealing 4 damage. Now, in the absence of scrying, I'm not that confident about getting through the doors of Durin. It's certainly possible. Let's see, it is each player, so I can try it, but to be honest, I actually kind of don't want to, because I have a plan for the start of the next round. So, Control N. Alright, so I'm going to pay 2 for a West Road Traveller and switch the active location with 1 in the staging area, because this reduces the threat in the staging area by 1, and I can still take the action on the Doors of Durin if I so wish. And still no secrecy over here, so I don't need to worry about reducing the threat. 3, 4, 5. Gandalf. Oh yes, the Watcher should have regenerated 2. But then I will use Gandalf to deal an additional 4 damage. And yes, I'll be able to kill the Watcher this round. So, I guess that's that. And over on this side, since I have 4 resources, I will play Faramir. And I'll also pay 2 for this Winged Guardian. So then let's quest 5, 8, 11, 14, 15. "15 willpower versus 5 threat." Yeah, that's fine. Aragorn has the unexpected courage, so he can deal with it. Card 2, Striking Tentacle. So that's an additional 2 threat. I'm making 8 progress. 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now all I need is to have at least 3 victory points, and I will win the game. Annoyingly, because of timing, this means I can't explore the Doors of Durin and kill the Watcher, which I've always liked trying to do both, but one is good enough. So now let's see, I need Aragorn, Gandalf, and Legolas to kill the Watcher. That is all I need. I also need to defend the Watcher, obviously. So, let's bring down the Tentacle here and the Warg here. I suppose I'll travel to the Doors of Durin for the hell of it. Shadow, shadow, shadow. Okay, this Winged Guardian is going to defend against the Watcher. Frodo is going to defend against the Striking Tentacle. Out, discard. No shadow effect, not a tentacle. Raise my threat by 1. And the Dunedain Wanderer will defend against the Warg. killed, and the wild goes back to the staging area. And now, as mentioned, 3, 7, 10 attack, which is enough to put the remaining 3 damage tokens on the Watcher and kill it. Alternatively, I can at this point try to get through the Doors of Durin. Now, I'm pretty sure there are no cards in this encounter deck that begin with F. So I can do D, G, T. There might be H. Well, the point is I can just dump everything and then discard the top card of the encounter deck. Black Orcs, B. I did not discard anything beginning with B, so it's just as well that I can kill the Watcher. Of course, and I'll just keep looking at the score. Pretty reasonable. Finished the quest pretty quickly. This can be potentially problematic because, of course, the fact that you can't optionally engage the Watcher if there are other tentacles in play makes it difficult. You have to try and get rid of all the other tentacles, and there are so many of them, and of course they all get shuffled back in when you hit stage 2. But of course I was able to do that trickery with Descendant of Thorondor to kill the tentacle before the encounter phase and thus engage the Watcher. Because of course then you keep getting that 3 damage to a character you control every round, and that can be very problematic, particularly since I didn't draw any of my healing effects. Speaking of which, stuff in my deck that never turned up. Let's see, Fast Hedges for Frodo, of course. Song of Erendil, intended to be here and absorb all the threat gain for the other deck so it could stay in secrecy, and also because Aragorn could then just hit the reset button. Card draw. Rumour from the Earth. This has come in very handy in some of the test plays I did with these decks, because, of course, Aragorn is intended to become the Steward of Gondor as well, so I have plenty of lore resources to keep returning Rumour from the Earth back to my hand again. And so, before dealing with any of the tentacles, I can use Rumour from the Earth, see what is the top card of the encounter deck. Does it have a shadow effect, or is it a tentacle enemy? And so I know whether or not the effect will go off, and I don't have to take the gamble. Same for the Doors of Durin. I can go, okay, what is the top card of the encounter deck? Do I have anything which matches the first letter of it? No? Okay, then move on and try again later. Because while you can only use the action on the Doors of Durin once per round, I can just keep using Rumour from the Earth multiple times in a round until there is an option that will actually work for me. Wandering Took, of course, to combo with Song of Erendil, where you move the Took back and forth while absorbing 1 threat each time with the Song of Erendil to just at will raise one deck's threat and lower the others. Good meal. Got Frodo, make Galadrim's Greetings cheaper. Yeah. Healing to deal with the Watcher's forced effect. And yeah. And over here, of course, I didn't see most of my secrecy stuff. The Unseen Strike, of course, was handy, although I used it on the Watcher, which it wouldn't have mattered if I'd had a third hero. I wouldn't have been that high threat regardless. Steward, intended for Aragorn. Calabrian Stone, intended for Aragorn. Timely Aid, one of the best secrecy cards. Never got a chance to use it. It's either the best or the second best secrecy card. People would debate it between Timely Aid and Resourceful, I think. And of course, I did have that Gladrum's Greeting in the hand of deck 1 ready to drop deck 2 back into secrecy again as soon as they drew something that actually needed the discount. So, yeah, the way the way that actually played out, I don't think I really demonstrated the power of secrecy so much. I guess I demonstrated more that this quest is not too hard and you can slightly handicap yourself by only having 2 heroes. It's not necessarily the best choice because there are a few threat-raising effects, and then there's, of course, the tentacles have low engagement costs, so they'll often engage you even if you are in secrecy. But I wanted to give it a try to attempt to show off some secrecy. Didn't quite manage it because I didn't draw most of it. Just the Dunedain Wanderer. But regardless, it worked, and I'll find other opportunities to try and pull out secrecy decks. Thank you for watching. Please come back for the long dark. Goodbye.